Okay, on today's episode, we're going to be putting on HMWPE Underbelly skid plates from Can-Am for our 2019 Can-Am Outlander Max 850 XT. So step one was to remove the original skid plates off the bike. So we already did that. Okay, step one, you gotta pick up the bike. So we winched ourselves up to the truss in the garage. So that's how we did it. Work on the bike underneath of it. So that's step one. Step two is to remove the old skid plates that we did already. There's a couple of bolts, so we did that. And now step three is going to be doing the rivets. There's only one special tool that's required on this whole install is a rivet gun. Okay, I suggest not using a rivet gun because in our situation we have our rivet gun, and inside the pack it comes with two of these adapters for the rivets. So you can clearly see I already snapped both of them. So there are cats. Don't waste your time with this. Better go to Harbor Freight or Princess Auto and get yourself one of these rivet guns for bolts. And it just screws in the adapters, the pieces inside the kit, and you press and it crunches the metal together, and this becomes one solid piece with sheet metal and stuff. Wait. That's it. Okay. To install the rivets, just screw it onto the gun. Put it into the hole like that. Try to hold flat against the metal and squeeze. Squeeze once, adjust a little bit. That's it. Screw the bolt. So there's 8 of these to rivet into the frame of the bike. So 4 on each side. That's gonna be holding the center skid plate and the side pieces to the frame of the bike. Okay, this is a skid plate that we got, the complete kit for the underbelly skid plate. It's a 1/4 inch poly, like plastic, so it's very flexible. They say it's military grade. I do not believe that, it's plastic anyways. So it is beneficial that if you hit rocks or whatever, it's not gonna bend like aluminum skid plates. Because once it gets some damage, that's it, it's screwed. You have to hammer it out if you want to really fix it. Usually you just leave it. Plastic, it bends and flexes to rocks and like damage. But my thing is, once it gets cold outside, I believe it's going to be brittle. So if you do hit a rock, it will snap in half and then it's completely garbage. But we're going to see how it goes. This is springtime right now. So we're going to install this and see how it survives during the summer and the fall and then winter of next year. Step 4. Step 4 is to place this thing. Like that. Okay, next step, take the center piece of the skid plate, place it on the bike. Right now it's sitting beside the bike with the screws, all the bolt sections. Go through your bolt section and pick out the 30mm screw and 4 washers. And the 4 bolts here are gonna hold the centerpiece in place, but don't tighten them down. Just temporarily put them in there. And I'm gonna put some thread lock on the threads as the insurance policy. Okay. Got some thread lock. I'm gonna use some blue thread lock on the bolts. So installing the skid plate, so the long piece is gonna go forward of the bike, and the short piece is gonna be at the rear. And you're gonna find those holes that you riveted in, those nuts, and just hand screw them in there first, so it holds. Okay, next bolts. I'm gonna tighten it a little bit with my drill. That's it. So next, so it's still loose, you still could work with it, move it around a little bit. So next step is to get the side pieces. I'm gonna start doing those. 2 side pieces of the bike. As per instructions, it has these little clips to install. These are the clips. So the clips go like this. So that's that. We got 2 on that side. We're gonna do this side, same thing. You gotta force it in there. Make sure the end of the clip is against the plastic. Okay, that's it. So we got 2 of them. Clips installed. Now take them to the bike and see where they go. Gonna go underneath. Underneath like that. Do this side first. Okay. Okay. So now you got the side pieces, the side of the skid plate. You grab the piece and it goes underneath the center skid plate. So you gotta wiggle it underneath like that. There we go. So now you take your 30 mil screws with washer, put some thread lock on it, and shove it in the hole and align it. Next screw, thread lock. Next. Okay, after you guys align all your plates together, now you could tighten everything down. Okay, next step is the front skid plate. That goes to the front of the bike. You're gonna have to pre-drill 2 front holes here and align the rear of these 2 holes. In our situation, we marked a drain hole for the front diff right here. The original skid plate, it comes with the hole of the original skid plate. So we want to drill it so we get access to it when we're doing service to the front diff, because everyone knows Can-Am is famous for front diff failure. So that's what we're gonna do. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna pre-drill the skid plate. Then we're gonna use a 1-inch wood bit to drill. Okay guys, we got a 1-inch wood bit on a drill, and we're gonna start drilling. Plug of the bike, so like like that. That's how the skid plate's gonna sit. So now we got our access hole. We're gonna mount the rear bolts first and then the top bolts. For the rear bolts, you're gonna have a metal piece like this. This is gonna be a huge washer. We're gonna use the two 30mm bolts with little washers and nuts. So I'm gonna take this, inside.
Yeah.
Put it inside the bike like that. I'm gonna hold it with one hand. Take the skid plate, put it on top. Align your hose. Like that. Squeeze it together. Take a nut. Mission impossible. So, put a nut in, finger tight. Okay, align everything. Take your other bolt, shove it through, a nut. Finger tight. That's it. Okay. Let's try. So once you got that, now it's gonna support itself like this. Push it all the way back. Okay, we're gonna tighten it a little bit. Okay. Okay. Next step, we're gonna drill a pilot hole straight through the plastic. To see if we line up. So next step, pre-drill the plastic through the original skid plate. And this goes over top, the aftermarket one. You're gonna be using 1.25 by 30 mil bolt. Put a washer on it, put it straight through the thing, and put a nut on the back of it. And that's it, and you'll be good. So after you do the center skid plate, the front skid plate, now you're gonna do the A-arm skid plate. The original one went like that, and it covered the CV boot for the front axle very well. Versus the new one. The new one, it leaves the boot more exposed, but it covers the shaft more. So it's a hit or miss on that, but we're gonna install them anyways. For the front A-arms, you're gonna be using two smaller screws, 30 mil screws, and one long one. And stuff, this is gonna be like a 40. Washers and 3 bolts. That's it. First thing. Okay. First thing. Thread lock. Take a bolt. Put them in place. Line it up. Hold it with one hand. The other hand, take your bolt. Hand tighten it. That's it. So that's one down. Next one. Thread lock. Get a bolt. That's it. And the last one is going to be the long bolt. Same thing. Okay. That's it. Okay. That's it. So just repeat the process on the other side with the 3 screws, and you'll be good. Okay. Okay guys, so we're moving on to the rear skid plate now. So this is the rear end of the bike, of these 2 holes here. So you got 2 holes right here, and that's gonna be for the rear mount. And there's a front mount, but that's gonna be last to install. So for the rear mount, we're gonna take our bolts with washer, put it through the holes, take some thread lock, take your nut, just finger tight, next bolt, washer, thread lock, other bolt, and tighten everything down. All right guys, after you mount the rear mount for the rear skid plate, just put it in place. You got these 2 front holes, have to align with this plate here. You have to put this support metal piece inside first, and then you're gonna put your screws and make a sandwich straight through the plates and it's gonna hold together tightly, the same as the front was done. So leave that there. Okay, put the bolt through like that. Hold it together like that. Take a nut, hand tighten the screw so it holds. Next screw. Okay, it's gonna sit like that. Now we have to remove the rear hitch off the bike. I'm gonna mount the two screws that go there and one center right here where my finger is, and then we'll be done with the rear skid plate.
Alright, next we're gonna be dropping the bike
So we get more room on the rear end to work. Okay. After that, well, we have to drop. So next, remove your pin for your hitch. Remove the hitch out of the receiver there. Continue. Now you remove after you remove the hitch, you got the two bolts, one here and one here, that holds the receiver to the frame of the bike. You got to remove those. Remove the whole receiver unit off of the frame / diff. And then you can mount the two screws for your rear plate. To remove the hitch, the receiver here from the rear of the bike, use a 15mm socket and a 15mm it's just gonna fall right out like that, the whole assembly. And now you can mount the two bolts that are gonna go here to the side like that. It's gonna hold tightly, then put everything back together and you'll be good to go at the rear. Okay guys, once you got the rear mounted to the frame of the rear, it takes two of these flat head washer bolts, put them on the sides here of the frame, take your nut, put it on the bolt, and tighten it down with a 10mm wrench. this hole. This hole here. Okay guys, last thing to do is putting this like 35 or 40 mil bolt with a washer through the hole here to hold the plate down. This requires a special washer that goes inside the frame that goes like that, and then you put a bolt on top like this. That's how it's gonna sandwich the plate against the frame. That's how it's gonna work. It's a pain in the ass to do it, but that's what I'm gonna do right now. Okay, washer's in. Bolt. Okay, bolt's in. I take the nut. After you drop the bike, I'm gonna put the rear hitch receiver back in place like that. Take your bolts, shove it inside there. So line it up first. Like that. Next. Okay guys, these are the last pieces of the whole body armor kit, the skid plate kit. So these pieces go like this, and they protect the rear CV boots and axle of the bike. It's gonna have a little mount like this. Put this mount, this is gonna hook up to your shock tower over there. And then the other two holes, this is going to your hub, this is going to your suspension arm. Both of them have like these 1/2-inch screws. They come preloaded with thread lock, but I'm gonna put extra thread lock just in case. And that's it guys, so I'm gonna do this. Okay guys, there you have it. We installed the skid plates on the bike. On the instructions, they say it's going to take you 2 hours to do from start to finish, the whole process. Once you start drinking or smoking or just screwing around, you're going to double that time easily to like 4 hours. Besides that, it's easy to do, easy to install, just takes time. Alright guys, let's see if we could get 4 likes on this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Please like, subscribe, comment on the video. Alright guys.